Hey guys, welcome to MyAirbags. I'm Eli, and right now we are going to remove the airbag module on this GMC Yukon. On the GMC Yukon, these are the tools you're going to need. I have my power drill, my socket with my 10mm flathead, and if you're removing the seat belts, you're going to need a T15 bit. Now the first thing we want to do is disconnect the battery. Anytime we work with the airbag system, we always want to disconnect the battery first. We're going to come right in here. You just want to grab your 10mm socket, and we're going to loosen up this little nut right here. Once you've got it loosened up, you just want to wiggle it up and then completely put it to the side. Next, we're going to do the positive. Right over here, just lift up this little cover. The positive is right here, and we're going to loosen this up right here using the 10mm. Once you have it loosened up, just go ahead and grab it and start moving it back and forth. You just want to completely move it to the side so there's no chance of that making contact with the battery again. You can actually take something non-conductive like a rag or a rubber glove and just put it right around the contact, or you can actually put it right on the cable itself. And this is just a precaution, that way there's no chance of that cable making contact with the battery again. We don't want any power applied to the car while we're working with the airbag system, whether it's the airbag module or the seat belts or airbags. Always disconnect the battery. Now that we're inside the car, you just want to get to your armrest, lift up, and right under here, you want to lift this up. There's a little tab right there. Just pull it up right by this right here. And right over here, you're going to see a little door. And we want to remove all 5 screws, and we're going to use a hex or a Phillips bit. Next, we're going to go ahead and remove the cover right out. Okay, here's what you need to know. When the car gets into an accident, there's 3 main things that could be causing the light to be on: the airbags, the airbag computer module, and the seat belts. Any deployed airbags must be replaced with new airbags. You can buy a new airbag module. The problem is they cost up to a few $100s, plus you have to pay a dealership technician to go in and program it to your car. In other words, you have to marry the new unit to your car. Here at MyAirbags.com, we work closely with body shops, collision shops, and salvage rebuilders in all 50 states. Instead of buying a new airbag computer, we can actually reset your original airbag module. In other words, we clear it of all codes. And because it's original to your car, programming is not necessary. Seatbelts also deploy, and they throw trouble code. Instead of buying expensive replacements, you can actually send in your seatbelts along with your module. Our seatbelt tanks are licensed and they hold an ATF certification. This means that after your seatbelts are rebuilt, they will work again as designed. They will deploy in another accident event. Right after I remove this airbag module, stick around and we'll take a peek at the seatbelts. If you want to know more, just click on the link in the description below, or just go to MyAirbags.com. And right down here, you can see part of the module. There's the yellow plugs that connect to the front of the module. The plugs are held in and secured by these little levers that you see here. And those levers are secured by some tabs in the front. They're little red tabs. And after I remove it, I'll go ahead and show you what it looks like from the side. It's really important that we have the battery disconnected before we start removing the module. The proper procedure is to power down the car by removing the cables from the battery. Then you want to go ahead and start removing the plugs next, and then finally the little nuts that hold down the module. We don't want to do it in any other order. Same thing goes for when you're putting it back in. Disconnect the battery, bolt it down, and then plug it in. There's the first one. So the red button right here, and then right in front, pull. And this right here is a little red tab that I was talking about. You want to just push it that way. So press, and that lever will remove to the side. And as it does, it will come sliding right out of the module. Move them to the side, and now we're going to go ahead and remove the bolt right up front. The last one is farther in, so it's a little harder to get it with my power drill, so I'm going to go ahead and use my little socket. If your car was in an accident and a dealership or body shop told you need to buy a brand new module, since 2006, MyAirbags has been resetting the original modules that come right out of cars that have been in an accident. We can reset the module and rebuild both seatbelts that have deployed. And this is where a lot of body shops and collision shops and automotive professionals that use MyAirbags.com, they save a lot of time and money by sending in their module and their deployed seatbelts in for a professional rebuild. Now, if you're a body shop or a collision shop or automotive professional who rebuilds cars, you already know that the seatbelts will deploy and they will lock and they will throw codes after the accident. Here at MyAirbags, we can rebuild both front seatbelts that do deploy. We can professionally rebuild them within 24 hours. Now we're going to take a brief look at the seatbelt setup on this car. This car has driver and passenger side that do deploy. The driver side front, the passenger side front, they do deploy and they lock and they throw codes letting you know that you have to replace them. Instead of buying expensive replacements, there is an alternative. Here at MyAirbags, you can get these professionally rebuilt. Let's take a look at how they're set up. First, we want to get into the pretensioner where this part, the seatbelt, retracts into, and there's a part on there that deploys. So if we follow this up, it goes into the side pillar right here. But to get to that, we need to remove this cover right here. It's fairly easy. Before we can remove this part, we have to come down here. And as you can see, the side panel goes underneath this foot panel right here. It's pretty easy to pop right off. You can use your hands to get right between the carpeting, or you can use a little flat bar, a little pry bar to get right underneath. I'm just going to use my hands to get right between the carpeting and the panel. And nothing is getting damaged. It's just these little tabs here, these plastic tabs that hold it down. Once we have this part lifted, we can go ahead and start working on the side panel. You can get right underneath here and just start sliding it out. Work it right up the side. In the back seat, I'm going to do the same thing. Pry this up, and now that the side pillar panel is free, I'm going to go ahead and start working it. And as you can see, it's being held down by these little tabs right over here. Right over here is where the main pretensioner unit is, right over here. This is where the seatbelt comes in and retracts right in here. So this right here is the main pretensioner unit that sits right in the pillar. This is where the seatbelt rolls back into and retracts into. It receives a signal via this line right here, this yellow plug. And right there, right behind the yellow plug, this part deploys and it locks the seatbelt into place. On this car and most new cars, they have a dual stage system, meaning there's two of these plugs, two parts that deploy. This is one, and we'll get to the other one shortly. If I were removing this seatbelt pretensioner to send out and get rebuilt, I would actually start by disconnecting the battery, then unplugging this yellow plug right out. Then you want to remove this bolt right over here, and also this bolt right over here. And if we follow the seatbelt up, behind this panel, similar to the other panel, if we remove it, there's going to be another bolt holding the top of this piece right over here. We want to remove that part. So this is just one part that deploys. If we follow the seatbelt and we continue on towards the end of the seatbelt, it actually goes into the seat. This is actually called an anchor tensioner or a lap tensioner, and we're going to remove it from the other side. But right there, I can already see the yellow plug. It looks similar to this plug right here. So that's one part that deploys. And then the other part that deploys is right in here. First, I want to go ahead and take my T20 bit, and I'm going to remove this piece right here, this little fastener. Once I have this piece removed, this plastic covering will come right out. And you can see the anchor tensioner more clearly. Let's take a look from the passenger side. This piece right here is the other part that deploys that we were talking about with the yellow plug right on top. This is the cover that was holding it that we removed. And this is what you would normally see. Because we actually removed the little screw in the back and we popped it right off, this is what you see now. So the seatbelt comes in right from the top. It comes right in here. And right here is the signal that comes in to deploy. And when it deploys, the cylinder-shaped tube right here will deploy and scrunch down or lock down this part of the seatbelt. So when this anchor tensioner deploys, it's pretty obvious. This whole piece right here will deploy and scrunch down. If you're sending in the anchor tensioner as well as the retractor pretensioner, we can get them both rebuilt for you at a bundle price. You can go to MyAirbags.com, select your year, make, and model, and then add the parts to the cart that you would like to have serviced. Next, just fill out your information, check out. Once you've successfully paid and checked out, you can print out the confirmation barcode and put it right inside the box with your parts. No printer, no problem. You can go ahead and write out your name, address, phone number, and email address, and then just place that information inside the box with your parts. Once we receive the parts here at MyAirbags.com, we'll process the order, we'll service your parts, we'll ship it out to you within 24 hours. Everything we service comes with a warranty. Hey guys, if you're sitting there with a question in mind, go to MyAirbags.com and click on help. On there you can type in a keyword or a question, and most likely the right answer will pop up right for you. If it doesn't, we're always here on the phones. You can email us, chat with us, or you can even just text us. We're always here to help you. MyAirbags.com. Now's the time to give us a big like, subscribe to our channel. We have more videos just like this. Comment. I really enjoy reading your comments. This is Eli with MyAirbags.com. Save time and money on your next project.